Welcome back to Mad Hatter's Civil War History. Today's episode, we examine the life of one of the more polarizing Confederate generals, A.P. Hill. Was he a wizard on the battlefield, or just a sickly armchair general not able to carry his own weight? Sit back and enjoy the life and times of Confederate General A.P. Hill. Ambrose Powell Hill, Jr., commonly known as A.P. Hill, was born on November 9, 1825, on Greenland, his father's plantation near Culpeper, Virginia. Hill's father was Major Thomas Hill. He was a respected figure in Virginia, known as a wealthy merchant, farmer, and politician. Described by acquaintances as tall, reserved, courageous, and hospitable, Thomas Hill played a significant role in shaping the early environment in which A.P. Hill was raised. Ambrose was the seventh and youngest child of Thomas and Fanny Russell Baptist Hill. His family had notable connections. His uncle, also named Ambrose Powell Hill, served in the Virginia legislature, and another namesake, Captain Ambrose Powell, was a friend of President James Madison. Hill attended local schools in Virginia before being nominated to the United States Military Academy at West Point in 1842. He entered with a class of 85 cadets and formed friendships with several future Civil War generals, including General George B. McClellan, who would later become his roommate. A.P. Hill graduated from West Point in 1847. His academic performance was solid but not exceptional. He graduated 15th out of 38 cadets in his class. This ranking placed him in the upper half, indicating a respectable academic record, especially considering the rigorous standards of West Point at the time. In addition to George B. McClellan, several other notable Civil War figures were part of the West Point class of 1846, which was the class just before A.P. Hill's. However, in A.P. Hill's own class of 1847, the most prominent Civil War leader, other than Ambrose Burnside, was Ambrose himself. While at the academy, Hill was known for his discipline and seriousness, though he also suffered from recurring illnesses, including a bout with yellow fever, which may have affected his performance and health during this time there. After graduating from West Point, A.P. Hill began his military career as a brevet second lieutenant in the U.S. Army. Although Hill graduated just as the Mexican-American War was ending, he was assigned to garrison duty and did not see combat in Mexico. He would later serve in Florida during the Third Seminole War, gaining field experience in difficult terrain. For much of the 1850s, Hill held various peacetime assignments, including work with the Coast Survey and the artillery. When the Civil War broke out in 1861, Hill resigned the U.S. Army Commission and joined the Confederate States Army as a colonel. He quickly rose through the ranks due to his leadership and battlefield performance. During the early part of the American Civil War, A.P. Hill quickly established a reputation as one of the Confederacy's most aggressive and effective field commanders. Hill gained early fame as the commander of the Light Division, one of the largest and most celebrated divisions in the Confederate Army. His leadership style was marked by boldness, speed, and decisiveness, which earned him the admiration of both his troops and his superiors. During the 7 days battles in June and July of 1862, Hill's division played a crucial role in engagements near Richmond, Virginia. His aggressive tactics helped push back Union forces and contributed to the Confederate victory. At the Battle of Cedar Mountain in August of 1862, Hill fought under General Stonewall Jackson and was instrumental in the Confederate success. Later in August, while serving at the Second Battle of Bull Run, again under Jackson, Hill's division held the Confederate left flank against repeated Union assaults, showcasing his defensive capabilities. At the Battle of Antietam in September of 1862, Hill had perhaps his most dramatic moment, when he led a forced march from Harper's Ferry and arrived just in time to counter a Union breakthrough at the Battle of Antietam. His timely intervention likely saved the Confederate Army from a devastating defeat. After the Battle of Antietam, Hill continued to rise in prominence within the Confederate Army, taking on increasingly significant leadership roles and participating in many more of the war's major campaigns. Following the death of Stonewall Jackson at the Battle of Chancellorsville in May of 1863, Hill was promoted to lieutenant general and given command of the newly formed Third Corps of General Robert E. Lee's Army of Northern Virginia. As Corps commander, Hill led his troops in several key engagements, including the Battle of Gettysburg. At Gettysburg, in early July of 1863, Hill's corps opened the battle, engaging Union forces northwest of the town. His decisions during the battle have been the subject of historical debate, particularly regarding coordination and timing. Hill's Third Corps was the first major Confederate force to engage Union troops at Gettysburg. He sent 2 divisions under Generals Heath and Pender into action without fully understanding the strength or disposition of Union forces. This move effectively initiated the battle, even though General Robert E. Lee had not intended to fight a general engagement at that location and time. Hill's actions on the first day were not well coordinated with those of General Richard S. Ewell's Second Corps, which was approaching from the north. This lack of synchronization meant that the Confederates had missed an opportunity to press their advantage and potentially drive Union forces off the high ground south of the town, positions that would later prove critical to the Union defense. Historians have also pointed to Hill's recurring health problems as a factor that may have impaired his judgment and energy during the campaign. Some accounts suggest that he was less assertive and decisive than he had been earlier in the war, which may have contributed to the sluggish follow-up after the initial Confederate success on July 1st. On July 3rd, Hill's corps was involved in Pickett's charge, though his role was limited. 2 of his divisions, Heath's and Pender's, participated alongside Pickett's. Both had suffered heavy casualties earlier in the battle. Critics argue that Hill did not effectively manage or support this assault, which ended in disaster for the Confederacy. The controversy around Hill's performance at Gettysburg centers on his premature engagement, poor coordination, and diminished leadership presence, all of which may have contributed to the Confederate failure to secure a decisive victory. After Gettysburg, in the fall of 1863, Hill again saw action in the Bristow and Mine Run campaigns. These campaigns were marked by missed opportunities and logistical challenges, with Hill's corps playing a crucial role in both. During the Overland Campaign in the spring of 1864, Hill's leadership was tested in battles such as the Wilderness and North Anna, where his corps faced intense Union assaults. At the Siege of Petersburg in 1864 and 1865, Hill's corps was heavily engaged in the prolonged defense of Petersburg, a critical supply hub for the Confederacy. Hill was known for his personal bravery, often leading from the front. However, his career was not without friction. He had tense relationships with some superior officers, which occasionally complicated command dynamics. Hill's command was interrupted multiple times by illness, which affected his ability to lead consistently during the final year of the war. He returned to duty shortly before the war's end, but was killed on April 2, 1865, during the Union breakthrough at the Third Battle of Petersburg. In December of 2022, the city removed the statue as part of a broader effort to take down Confederate monuments. His remains were then reinterred on January 21, 2023, at Fairview Cemetery, bringing him back to the place where he was born and raised. A.P. Hill was a bold and loyal Confederate general whose rapid rise through the ranks, fierce leadership in key Civil War battles, and untimely death just days before the Confederacy's collapse marked a life of intense service, enduring controversy, an ultimate sacrifice. Thanks for watching this episode of Mad Hatter's Civil War History. Like, follow, and click the bell for notifications to ensure you see all of the latest content. As always, let me know if there's any other important events of the American Civil War you would like me to address.